So, irrespective of who was going to be the candidate against me, I've said that I was supremely confident of more than 50% vote share. Not just confident of winning, let's be clear. More than 50% vote share. We have had a sitting Chief Minister of a NDA government, a BJP government in Maharashtra, come here and say that only if a BJP MLA and a BJP coalition government is installed in Tamil Nadu will Madurai get the metro. How outrageous is that? Therefore, it is very, very justified for the Chief Minister first to be outraged at that comment and say, this is beyond the pale.
If the DMK gets to win, should we expect PTR back in the saddle as Finance Minister or as IT Minister?
I have no idea. If the DMK wins, I'll be happy. The Chief Minister will decide who's Minister, who's what Minister and all that. Nothing to do with me.
Of Tamil Nadu, Dr. Palanivel Thiaga, a name that's synonymous with the city of Madurai in his very own constituency, Madurai Central. Sir, thanks very much indeed for your time, sir. It seems to be a very interesting contest this time. A former Wall Street banker is taking on a veteran filmmaker. How optimistic are you, sir?
I don't think it matters that I am a former banker. It certainly doesn't matter that there is an actor or director. What matters is whether you have the capacity to serve the people, how much capacity you have and what your track record is and what your plans are and how much of your track record is validatable by external sources. So, irrespective of who was going to be the candidate against me, I've said that I was supremely confident of more than 50% vote share. Not just confident of winning, let's be clear. More than 50% vote share for two reasons. The first reason is that as we do work, people respect it and regard it and reward us more. So I came as a new face to electoral politics in 2016.
That's right.
I got 43.4% of the vote. After 5 years as an opposition MLA and effectively doing the corporation councillor's work, since there was no local body elections, I got 49.4% of the vote. And after 5 years as a minister and producing both state level and city level and constituency level, in addition to my MLA work of street level, home level, individual level benefits and outcomes, I was supremely confident that I would cross 50% of the vote. First reason. Second reason is that our leader has forged such a formidable alliance that we now have, in addition to the alliance we had in 2021, three parties that are of significance here, as well as some faction of the ADMK, which is also of some significance here. And in that sense, I would say that having the Makkal Needi Mayam, which got 10%, my friend was a candidate who got 10% of the vote last time, as well as the DMDK, which had the sitting MLA here from 11 to 16, as well as the SDPI, who also ran against me. My friend is here, the district secretary, and he got a few percent of the vote, as well as Thiru O. Pannirselvam has split from the ADMK and joined us. And among the people he has brought with him is Thiru Gopalakrishnan, who was the former MP here. So we have a former MP, we have former MLA's party, we have part of the ADMK, we have the DMDK, we have the SDPI, we have the Makkal Needi Mayam. So if you add all that up, now my goal is no longer 50%, my goal is 55% minimum, 60% ideal.
Okay, that's great. Dr. PTR, elections are generally fought on two things, right? That's exactly what political pundits keep pointing out. One is optics and the other one is arithmetic. Arithmetic is what you spoke about right now.
No. I spoke about achievement first.
All right.
In my understanding, people are extremely sophisticated in making their decisions. And so I start with saying, what have we done? What have we achieved? Based on that, I start.
It seems like, actor Vijay seems to have a leverage because, that's quite palpable in his campaigns in Kolattur and as well as in Perambur as well. You think the DMK is not able to do that kind of optics this time, sir?
We are drawing as big or bigger crowds than we have drawn. Again, I'm not commenting on things I see on the TV because I have no idea what is real, what is fake. In my constituency, I would say that the welcome I'm receiving and the crowds that are coming to the campaigns this time are even greater than they were last time, which were even greater than they were the time before. So it's hard for me to talk about optics.
Okay.
I will say that clearly if you're a popular actor entering into the fray, you're likely to get a lot of attention. I consider that a good thing. I'm not worried about it. That's a good thing, right? More people should be engaged in the process. And I have supreme confidence that voters will assess, particularly women voters I have found, will assess who's likely to provide what benefit to whom.
Chief Minister M.K. Stalin sort of pitches this election as a battle between Delhi and Tamil Nadu. There's been lots of allegations that center is gaming the state in terms of NEET, in terms of GST, in terms of governors, and but do you think an average voter in Madurai Central?
Yeah, I agree with 100% of that, but I'm saying we no longer have to talk about generic things or statewide things. Just yesterday or day before, we have had a sitting Chief Minister of a NDA government, a BJP government in Maharashtra, come here and say that only if a BJP MLA and a BJP coalition government is installed in Tamil Nadu will Madurai get the metro. How outrageous is that? Therefore, it is very, very justified for the Chief Minister first to be outraged at that comment and say, this is beyond the pale. Like I've been saying for a long time, no government in the history of India has weaponized the people's money for political purposes as this government. And now they're blatant about it. They're not saying it's based on qualification. They're not saying it's based on population. They're saying if you have a BJP MLA or a BJP government, then we'll give you money. It's outrageous. Obviously, then we're going to say the fight is against the BJP and the NDA and Tamil Nadu.
When you were the finance ministry, you were vocal about Edapadi Palanivel's government then, in terms of rising debt levels, but now your party's manifesto expands welfare even as debt keeps rising. Is this economically calibrated or is there political compulsion? Where do you draw the line there?
Look, I have said before, all governments should be characterized by three variables. One, how much humanity, compassion, empathy the leader and therefore the government of the leader has. In that, I think it's very clear that our leader is very much focused on every single element of society, particularly those left behind. We have special programs for orphans, for example, which we have never had in the history of the government before. So, first quality is humanity, compassion, empathy. Second variable is data. Again, I've pointed out many instances because this started with me as finance minister and now I'm IT minister. I'm sitting on top of the entity that owns all the data. We have spectacularly good data, much better than we even dreamt we would have, much better than we have ever had, and much better than most governments of most states because, for example, we were the first state to get the Honorable Union Finance Minister and the CBDT Chairman to agree to connect an API with us so that we'll have real-time income tax filer data to know who is at what level of the population, the economic pyramid. So we now have much better data. The third thing I said was execution skill, Sayal Tiran. So you have to have compassion, you have to have data, you have to have execution skill. And the best example of execution skill, I would say, is what we did the first 2 years we came. When we came, we had made a lot of promises and we fulfilled a lot of those promises. We gave 4,000 rupees per ration card, we gave free bus, we gave waiver of the jewel loan. We had to deal with costs and expenses we had not anticipated, like wave 2, like wave 3. That's why when I gave my budget speech in 2023, the third one, that is the amended budget for 21-22, the full one for 22-23, and I gave the 23-24 budget speech. At the time I said, in my estimation, we have spent 1 lakh crores on new schemes and initiatives in the last 2 years, and yet reduced the revenue deficit from 62,000 crore to 30 crore.
Now it's at 1.6%.
No. I'm saying. So it is doable. I'm saying there is a track record of it being done. So if you say, is it doable? I say, if you have execution capability, you can do anything. In fact, forget me. I'm just one-time minister, politician. The great economist Keynes, John Maynard Keynes, who is the father of the Keynesian school of thought, in an interview during the depth of the Second World War to the BBC, is asked, how will we be able to kind of pay for all these things? And he says, listen, state finances are not like personal finances. States have inordinate resources. I've said it many times. For example, the state is the biggest owner of land. The state is sitting on thousands and thousands or tens of thousands or lakhs of crores of land. lakhs of acres and lakhs of crores of land. In the city of Madurai alone, the government probably owns, 300 acres of prime land, right? So states have infinite resources. So what Keynes said, which I second, says anything you can actually do, you can afford. Listen carefully to what I'm saying. Anything you can actually do, you can afford. So if you have the capacity to actually execute, you can find a way to finance it. That is not the biggest limitation in a government. I'll just stop there.
One more question, sir. You come from influential family there, but at the same time, you also leave. There's a big, huge legacy, as far as Dr. PTR's family is concerned. But when you have new players coming in, the opposition is going full throttle over DMK being a dynasty party. Reportedly there's been 31 dynasts defeated this time, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think that's a bit of a disadvantage?
Look, if you want to go hypocrisy, every party has dynasts, every party has descendants, every party has husbands, every party has wives contesting, some of them in multiple party symbols. Some of like husband will be one party, wife will be one party, son will be a third party. So I don't want to descend to this level of politics. As far as I am concerned, I came to continue the good work of my forefathers. I came sacrificing my personal career. I was a senior managing director in a large global bank and making millions of dollars a year, millions of US dollars a year at a very low tax rate in Singapore. I sacrificed that to come, not because I am expecting any kudos for that, but because my family's way of life was that we were, at least for hundreds of years, relatively wealthy by inheritance. I wanted to be different, so I became wealthy by my own work. But otherwise, the point was, once you have economic security, what do you do? And for a long time, we have followed the tradition of doing public service as our way of kind of being grateful to God, because I'm a believer, and the society in which we live. So I came to do that work. If anything, I'll go the other way. When I came 10 years ago, I said I'm only here for 10 years. I said,
contesting for the third time.
I said I will come, and I said I'm coming at 50. After I've achieved economic independence and protection for my family and established my name as a professional, as a manager, as a patent holder, as an educated man. Now I'm coming to do 10 years worth of work, and if I do 10 years, I'll leave at 6. So in fact, by that commitment, I should have retired and not run for this election. But in fact, the reason I'm still running mostly is two things. One, I was not able to achieve everything I wanted to achieve. I've announced some things that turned out to be much more complex than I had thought, because I couldn't get the blueprints, for example, for the UGD system when I was opposition. Only after I became minister I could access, and they go back to 1908. So I didn't anticipate that the complexity would be this high. The second thing is that the people will not have good memories of me were I to leave the job half done. So I decided that leaving when you're successful, like I did in banking or consulting, or I was a topper in most of my universities, that's a different thing. Leaving when you're half job done, I don't have a track record of that in my life, so I don't want to start now. So yeah.
One last question there, sir. You're highly valued in terms of your perspectives on fiscal policy in the economy, and I want to ask you this question. If the DMK gets to win, should we expect PTR back in the saddle as finance minister or as IT minister?
I have no idea. If the DMK wins, I'll be happy. The chief minister will decide who's minister, who's what minister and all that. Nothing to do with me.
Thank you very much, sir. Such a pleasure talking to you. All the very best, sir. Thank you.